Hey everyone, this is Angus. I thought I'd give you a very quick look at the charting capability of TradingView. These videos only go for 10 minutes, so I'll try and get through as much as I can very quickly. I thought I'd just start off with a graph, which is KRL, just Kangaroo FPO, and you can see this has just got nothing on it. So this is, kind of how you might start off looking at a chart. There's heaps and heaps of configurability within TradingView. There's drawing tools, there's all your watch lists, there's alerts, there's a whole bunch of stuff down the right hand side here. The bottom of the chart, you can have your different day ranges, and the way it works is it automatically will change your time, which is up here on the top left. I presume you can see the mouse at the moment. So if you wanted to say look at a 1 year view, which I think this is what it is at the moment, there's a 1 year view. You can look at a 6-month view of the chart. You can look at a 3-month view of the chart. You can look at a 1 month view, and you can see the time scale up here is changing. So see, it's 30 minutes up there on the 1 month, but when you go back to the 1 year, it automatically changes you to a day view. You can automatically change these as well. So I can say I want to see a 15-minute view. I want to see a 1 hour view. The drop down here lets you see all your different time ranges that you can see on that particular chart. As a very small tip, on almost all toolbars to the right of it, you can tick your favorite thing here. And so see how here it's got 15 minutes and 1 hour. If I tick that little star, then I've got 1 minute. So rather than having to go to the drop down each time to have a look at, say, a 1 day time frame or a 1 hour 15 minutes, I can literally now just click on these very quickly, and it automatically changes that time frame so you can see what you're looking at. Every now and again, your chart will become horrible. You can zoom in and zoom out, scrolling your mouse key up and down, and then sometimes things go a bit wacko. And there's this little refresh button that sort of says, reset the default settings, and that takes you back to where you were. Underneath this little cog, you can configure a whole bunch of stuff. You can say, price source, type, simple, show lines, don't show lines. Scales, automatically fit, right. I change some things like the top margin, so it takes it away down from some of these indicators. There's a bottom margin, so it's basically how you can readjust your chart. There's things like indicator name labels, and as I said, if you just sit here and you tick them on and off, you can see symbols appearing, disappearing, and it just reduces the clutter on your chart. The background's kind of interesting. Again, you've got all your symbol descriptions. You can see at the top left it's changing. Indicator titles, when we have those, you'll be able to see a bit more. Time zone and sessions. I'd recommend that everyone sign up for one of the trials. It's only a 30-day trial, but while you're testing out the capability, you can see a lot more. When you're signed up for one of the trial, $9.95 or $19.95, you automatically get live data, and so you can tick this little box here and it'll show you end of day, extended hours, where it sort of goes, till 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever it happens to be, then a little bit earlier in the morning, which can sometimes give you a few clues as to how the stock is going. Trading is not really relevant to us. If we had a company like ComSec or someone that could integrate into TradingView, you'd be able to have all sorts of different buy and sell options and different things within your chart as well, which is kind of cool. Events and alerts is very good. It'll sort of have I'd love it if it had news, for example, but you'll see on some charts, if you tick these things, it'll show you, a little D or a little A or a little C or, whatever it happens to be for some of the charts. So have a play with that, because it puts sort of more information on your screen when you get a chance. But the main thing that people probably want to know is how to add indicators, and it's super simple. I personally like line charts. Not a big fan of candles. I think they just add a lot of noise to your chart. I'm sort of just looking at the price information. I understand how to read them. I totally accept that you can gain more data out of them, but for the way that I trade, I don't really care. I'm looking at the overall trend of the chart, but that's just my personal opinion, and I might learn differently later. If you want to switch to candles, you can tick this little box here, and so I've automatically got candles. I can click on this drop down and I can have all these different types of bars, candles, lines, area type charts, whatever it is that you personally prefer. So I'm just going to leave it on line for now, but you can see that you can again star it. star it. And so I do sometimes switch between candles and lines just to see if something might be falling out of one of my moving averages. You can compare different charts if you wanted to. The indicators is a really cool bit that you'll spend 90% of your time in. Then templates, and I'll get back to those two in a sec. The other thing that I like is this little camera button here. So at any stage that you want to take a snapshot, you literally just click that. It'll give you an image URL, or you can click on Save Image. And that's some really easy way for you to share your stock. So if I click on Save Image, I'm not sure if it'll take me off the video page or not, but I can see that there's a saved image. So I'll close that again. So when you want to start to really break down this chart, you can click on indicators, and there's a bucket load of stuff. And I've spent probably the last month clicking on just about everything in the system so that I can see how they're applied to a chart and see which ones I like the look of. And you end up with these crazy complicated charts with every possible indicator on it, and everyone's style is different. Some people like Bollinger Bands, some people like moving averages, some people like Fibonacci, but there's just about every combination you can possibly imagine. There's built-ins, so these are the ones that TradingView provide, let's say, out of the box, and there's a bunch of them, and they're the main ones you'd expect to see. The public library is quite interesting in that what people have done is they've tried to write their own, I guess, indicators, modifying existing indicators, color coding them, and I've found some of them quite useful. You can also write your own scripts. There's a thing called the Pine Editor, which is down the bottom of your screen here, and you can use the Pine Editor to, once you've learned how to use it, to modify scripts or create new scripts. You can write text notes to yourself. So if you like a particular share, you can either write on the chart, or if there's an indicator that you want to work out what it does, you can pop it into the text notes. The stock screen is brilliant. Like I can't sort of say to you, how much I use that to narrow down my range of stocks. And it's a little bit clunky to use in combination with the charts, but you can see that if I sort of slowly click down, the chart above changes. So it's a way of flicking through the different charts, but it does take up some of your screen space, and I believe there's an easier way to deal with all that. So anyway, just to show you some of the indicators. So if you put in something like a moving average, for example, just type in moving average exponential, moving average, and again you can see you can star the ones that you like to use on a more regular basis. So we'll put in a couple more MAs. We'll go and look for volume, because most people like looking at volume. Oh, put volume. I've got 2 more minutes on this particular video. People like to look at OBV maybe, and so you can see that as you put these things in, they appear down the bottom. Now, volume, just as an example, next to these little volume, you can see these little tiny things where you can turn bits and pieces on and off with that. I guess it's an eye symbol. The little cog allows you to configure the different values. The plus allows you to apply an indicator on top of an indicator, like you might want to apply a moving average over the top of your volume, and the X just deletes it. So go through, go nuts, and all these little indicators you can change. So I'll put volume back. The thing that, again, that's handy is you can click on the little down arrow and you can say move to new pane below, and so you can see that volume's now in its own separate little pane on its own. Any of these you can fiddle with, so you can click on the little format. That'll allow you to change the color of the line, allow you to change the thickness of the line. If you go back up to your moving averages, for example, I can click on that one and I can say under my input, make that let's say a 20-day moving average. Click OK. And I like to do really simple things like, let's say if it's a 20-day, we'll make it green, because that's a good one. If we go to the next one and make it a let's say a 50-day, and we'll make it orange, sort of signaling it's a little bit more dangerous. I've got 25 seconds left of this particular video, but you can see how it starts to really show you what's happening on your chart. Very easy to add indicators, very easy to configure, and then make sure you go to templates and you go save indicator template and call it something like a name, and then that way you've got it saved and you can go on to the next one. Anyway, I've got my 6-second countdown, so time to go. I hope that was a little bit informative.